I'm very impressed with how well Vernee is able to make cell phones. The more I use this phone, the more I like it, and the more I realize how much Vernee has improved over their previous generation phones. But there is still one huge reason not to get the Vernee M6. Let's start with build quality. This phone is made of metal, it's very thin, and it feels very nice in the hand. So if you are someone who doesn't like phones that are too big, this is a decent phone. It's still pretty big, I gotta say. Like if you want something like a 5-inch phone, which you pretty much cannot find anymore, you probably can't find it, but the Vernee M6 is still very nice in the hand. You know, it's fairly compact, it's light, it's very thin, and it definitely feels nice because of the curved edges. The back of this phone is metal, but as you can see, it picks up fingerprints very easily, so and it shows as well. It does come with an included case with a very nice bumpers, which I do appreciate. And the back of the phone here has the Vernee logo. It has your fingerprint sensor and your camera and your LED flash. And it's got 2 plastic bits up top and bottom. And it's a pretty plain looking phone, but it's also pretty industrial designy, if you know what I mean. Hey, check it out. We got a headphone jack. And we also got a micro USB port. So up front here, we have a 5.7-inch display, and the bezels around the screen are not that small. So top and bottom, they're pretty big. Sides they're okay. They're maybe like 2-3 millimeters. They're definitely smaller than the Lenovo S5, but the bezels here are still pretty decent in terms of size. So it's gonna look okay, but it's not gonna look supremely bezel-less. Quick recap of the screen. I do have some revised opinions about the display. When I first looked at it, as you could tell from my unboxing, I was actually fairly impressed with the screen, but the more I looked at the screen, the more I realized that the color saturation is not as good as I had initially realized when I looked at the screen. It is tiny bit washed out, very, very, very tiny. You know, I'm comparing to like the best of the best LCDs. You know, I'm comparing to like the LG V30. I'm comparing to Smarter Than Nut Pro 2. Very, very high contrast. Here, the contrast is not as high. The color saturation is also not as saturated. But for all intents and purposes, I'm not sure the ordinary person could tell that this is very slightly worse than what you find on other LCDs. Of course, it's going to be worse than an AMOLED display, but it's not going to be worse than anything else. The touchscreen here is pretty good. The touch sensitivity is not bad, so I'm actually scrolling with my fingernail right now, and it's actually still working well sometimes. But if you scroll with your actual flesh of your finger, it works very well. In terms of maximum brightness, you can see it in sunlight, but it is a little bit tough, but it should be okay. Let's talk about audio here. The audio volume is actually very loud, so no complaints there. The audio quality is not as clear as other phones I've been using, but I will say that it's still good enough for the average person. You don't get a lot of bass, so this audio quality here is actually not the best, but it should be good enough for most people. So let's listen to a quick clip from Star Citizen, which I have no idea if it's actually ever going to come out. Alright, this has the MTK 6750T processor and a 3300 milliamp hour, and I will give you 2 thoughts here. The first is that battery life is not great. It's actually, you know what, it's a little bit above average because you can get around 5, maybe 6 hours of screen on time. But the other thought is that this phone actually gets more battery than I was expecting from the older MTK 6750T, which is a testament to Vernee's software optimization. So it's definitely not going to get you through an entire day if you are a heavy user, but if you're a medium user, you should be okay. You know, browsing the web, going on Reddit, stuff like that, that should not be a problem at all. In terms of software, you have a pretty much stock Android 7.0 Nougat. You don't have Android Oreo yet, and this actually has a skin on top, or sorry, quote unquote, a skin on top of it called Vernee OS, but there really isn't any addition because it looks completely stock, so I don't really think there really is any addition to the stock launcher, you know, the stock software here. So I think it's just a skin in name only. In terms of performance, I gotta say that it's so fluid. I mean, it's so great that I don't have any complaints about the speed of when I'm doing, you know, regular stuff, you know, swiping between screens, opening up the app drawer. In my opinion, it's almost as fast as a Google Pixel 2, which is pretty impressive. But where you do start seeing slowdowns a little bit is when you start launching apps. You start seeing a little bit that the MTK 6750T does have trouble keeping up. Chrome, that was a very slight hesitation compared to the Snapdragon 625. Let's launch something heavier like Google Play News. And this one, as you can see, has a larger delay of almost 1 second. And Google Play Music, that was about a 1 second delay also. So the bigger the app is, the slower it launches, and there's really not much you can do about it. I gotta say that it's gonna be okay for most people. If you're a power user, probably not for you, but it should still be okay. And you got 4 gigs of RAM also, so multitasking here should not be a problem at all. So in terms of gaming, you can't really play PUBG, but you can play less intense games. For example, this drag racing game from Need for Speed, and it runs pretty well. It does have a 720p display, so that's probably why it runs pretty good. So really no reason here to play intense games, but you can play casual games like this. All right, in terms of network bands, it's not great. You don't really have that many network bands, and if you live in the US of A, pretty much don't get this phone. You do have 3G 850, so you will get 3G connectivity in the USA. But in terms of 4G, you have bands 1, 3, 5, 7, 8. You got band 5, which can be used for AT&T, but that's only one of the bands that's required. You need band 4 also. So really, USA, don't buy this phone. If you are in Canada, you can buy this phone if you are on Rogers or Bell, because you got your 3G and you also got your 4G connectivity. Europeans, you're good as you always are with all your phones, which is a little bit sad for all of us over in North America. Talking about the speeds, it's okay. Talking about reception, it's also good, decent, and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity are good. GPS is average, as to be expected from an MTK 6750. I did find that my GPS did jump around a little bit, and it took a little bit of time to lock as well, and sometimes it would lose the lock, so there's that to contend with also. So GPS definitely is not the best, but it is suitable for most people if you're looking for a cheaper phone like this. All right, so I am incredibly impressed with the camera on the Vernee M6. I was not expecting such a great camera. To be honest, I was blown away, because usually Vernee's cameras are average at best. They had a good camera in the Vernee Apollo, I think. But this camera here matches the Redmi Note 4X in many areas, which is very, very impressive. If you're taking pictures in good lighting conditions, colors are very good. Detail is also pretty good. If you're taking macro shots, the details are absolutely fantastic, right? If you're taking a photo of, let's say, like this flower, compare this to the Redmi Note 4X, or even the Redmi 5 Plus in some situations, I don't think you can tell the difference which one was taken with which. That's how good the camera on the Vernee M6 is. In terms of detail, if you're taking non-macro shots, in terms of landscape shots, detail is pretty good. It does lag behind the Redmi Note 4X a little bit, but really not by far. And of course, if you're taking macro shots, they're absolutely amazing. The shutter speed here is a little bit slow. I will give Vernee that. It's not too fast. So if you're taking pictures of a fast-moving object, sometimes it can be blurry. So just be aware of that. And the other thing as well is that focusing is a little bit tough, as in it doesn't know what to focus on, not that it cannot focus on the actual object itself. In terms of the front-facing camera, it's okay, but it's not really that great, so it's pretty much an average front-facing camera. Now the video here is a 1080p maximum, and the video quality is less good than what I was expecting compared to the photo quality. It looks like video is, recording video is harder to optimize for than it is to take photos. Or maybe they're doing photos first and not optimizing the video. But video quality here is, it's passable 1080p, but it's really not that great. So I really wouldn't recommend, buying this phone just for the video camera. It is serviceable. You can take videos if you are in a pinch, but it's not going to look great. The Vernee M6 has left me with mixed feelings. On one hand, I don't like the MTK 6750, which pretty much eliminates this phone from me from normal use, but I gotta say that in terms of speed, this phone is actually not too bad. You will only see limitations in terms of, let's say, gaming, but in terms of normal use, I doubt the regular person can tell that this phone is going to start lagging compared to even a Snapdragon 625 because of how good Vernee's software optimization is. They actually optimized the battery pretty well for the size of the battery also. The build quality of the phone's pretty good. The display is a little bit lacking, but really not that big of an issue. Audio is good. Of course, network bands, if you're in the USA, don't even think about this phone. But if you're in Europe, you should be okay. And the camera, wow, the camera really surprised me. I mean, you're looking at Redmi Note 4X levels of photos with this camera here, which is super duper surprising considering that this is a cheap MTK phone. So that's such a big surprise that, yeah, I was not expecting this at all. However, with all that being said, you know, with how much I like the camera on this phone and how good I think this phone is, I still don't think you should buy it. This phone is $160, right? So the only reason why one would buy this over a Redmi Note 4X, which is infinitely better in terms of the CPU, in terms of battery life, camera is a little bit better, but not by much. It does take 4K. But the only reason why you would buy this over the Redmi Note 4X would be the looks. This phone looks better than the Redmi Note 4X, but I would not recommend you buy this phone just for the looks. I would recommend you take a hit and buy the uglier Redmi Note 4X. You're going to be so much happier with it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about the Vernee M6. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the little notification bell below beside the subscribe button to make sure you're notified of any of the latest videos I upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.